Good afternoon, everybody. Tom Stewart here. I'm with a sleepy Liz Trotter, and this is Smart Business Moves.
Trying to fake it over here. Wasn't working.
That was excellent timing.
Trying to cover up that yawn, huge yawn.
So, what's going on in your world, Liz?
I don't know. I have a whole bunch of things that I'm doing today, so it's making my brain just like flick back and forth between lots of different things. So I'm like, I think I'm tired. My brain's just tired. Do we have to continue to think? Yeah. Sorry.
Just a little bit.
Huh?
But this is a different type of thinking. This is fun thinking.
That's true. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Bridget. Are you guys tired? Say you're tired too. It's not just me. For me, it really is this time. Used to be 3 o'clock was like, oh, wow, whoo, tired eyes. And now 2 o'clock seems to be it. But I actually probably ever since I started getting up an hour earlier, which would make sense.
Since when have you been doing that?
It's been a while. Earlier than before. I'm getting up like at 4:15. I think you already knew that, Tom.
Yeah. Because it's like 7:15. Yeah, I don't know what to say about what time I get up. I'm working from home now. I don't have a commute. I have a standing meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm always there. Let me leave it at that.
I have stuff that happens early, and because I deal with East Coast people sometimes, it's easier to get up earlier and then shut down a little bit earlier. Hey, Leslie, you like that? That's my hair just very, very straight today. Hey, Starlene. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that, Starlene. Hey, I was going to say something. I forgot what it was. I don't know. You guys ready to talk more KPIs today? I think Tom's pulling out the graphs today, aren't you, Tom?
Hey, Mike, this could be the day.
Some spreadsheets, not graphs, but spreadsheets.
If I could find them, you'd think I'd have all that ready by now, wouldn't you? I do. Don't worry.
Oh, I was so worried, Tom. Okay, I think I can come here and wake up every day because at the beginning of the show, I always get a real good hearty laugh.
I don't think I've embarrassed myself yet, but we're just getting started, so
it's gonna come.
I'm playing with opportunity.
Well, you don't have any hats on today. Hey, Don, good to see you.
I had a bunch of guys with hammers out here just a little while ago, but they haven't made any noise for like the last 10 minutes, so maybe we're good.
I think that if we got through all the sawing of was that yesterday or the day before when there was like, we got through that. So
we had a Made Central call just a couple hours ago, and I would have to mute myself, and then I'd unmute and answer a question really quick and mute back again. It was bad. Okay, well, any PPP news before we jump into this? I don't have anything.
I don't have anything either. I feel like I heard something. Oh, the only thing is it's not PPP related, but make sure that you guys continue to watch for that you're airing.
Did you hear that? You don't hear that, do you?
Watch your state government too, because there are a lot of state grants that are going out. Sound like horses.
What's the best way to find out about that?
I find out about the ones in my area from the chamber. I'm not sure where the best place would be.
Well, Google's a pretty good place to go to. Like if you just say small business, grants, COVID, your state. We have to play around with several different keywords to find it, but I know that was the case last time. Do you know if there's more state grants out there now as part of this new round of funding?
I don't know if they're a part of it. I just know in my state there's a brand new grant that popped up yesterday that made me think of it. I'm like, ooh, I need to remind everybody to check their state grants. I don't know what makes them pop up or not. I'm guessing they get money and then they look for ways to pass it on.
And that is in the state of Washington.
Yeah.
So what is, just I guess for illustrative purposes, what does that grant look like, and how much monies could a company hope to gain from a state grant? Like what's happening in Washington?
Well, I've seen all different sizes. The smallest one I've seen is like a $5,000 grant. This one is a $25,000 grant.
25,000?
Yeah. So, but it's limited, and they usually have some type of scope. I'm not eligible for this one. It is for restaurants and something else I can't remember. I'm not eligible for it, but you never know when you are eligible. And they have kind of quick limits on them. You know, they're only giving out a certain number of them. So at least in my state. So you
weren't they having riots in Tacoma the other week? I think so. Yeah.
You know how much I pay attention to the news. I know they were having stuff in Seattle, and also at our Capitol, there was some stuff going down.
Maybe if the grant monies to, like if you have a storefront, put your business together. If I don't know.
I hope not. We do get some of that bad stuff here, just because being the Capitol. We did have some stuff with the election and, some different things like that.
Crazy times.
Nope, crazy times. Yeah. But the grants are out there. I'm not thinking that they're just for my state, because I'm hearing other people that are having the same thing going on. So just a reminder to check. I mean, it can't hurt to hit Google, especially that is pretty easy. I think we did a couple of searches like that a few months back too, Tom.
Yep.
To see what was available. Hey, Marla. Good to see you.
Before we jump in to today's KPIs, and we will be playing with some spreadsheets and some numbers, can we talk for a minute about what we're doing tomorrow?
Sure. How about you talk about it, since I won't be here?
Yeah. Well, I know Liz is not going to be here tomorrow. She's going to be on vacation.
I have an orthodontist appointment.
You don't have to explain, Liz. This is we established it yesterday. This is no fault absenteeism. We don't need to know why. You're just not here.
Good to know, Tom. Thank you. I'm not gonna. No.
You don't have to bring an excuse in on Monday or anything.
I'm fully excused. I've already excused myself.
But Matt Ricketts has offered to fill in, and Matt and I have worked together, and we've done training together, and we spend a lot of time going over some of the same KPIs. So he's going to be able to bring some of his insight in there. But also we'll probably take a chunk of the first part of tomorrow's show and talk about PPP2 and talk about the employee retention tax credit. Matt's doing a lot of, Matt will tell you tomorrow, he's already got his second round of PPP funds in the bank. If you ask him how much, he'll probably tell you. And he'll also tell you what he's doing in his business to get the employee retention tax credits. And he's in a situation where I think he's going to be able to do quite well with that program as well, both in terms of the 2020 credits as well as qualifying for the 2021 credits. And you're going to want to hear it, and you're going to want to take notes, because the details will kind of make your head spin. But there's a lot of good information coming on that tomorrow as well.
Yeah, well, I'm excited that it's on Facebook Live, so that I'll be able to watch it even though I'm not here. Sounds like it's going to be good stuff.
Matt brings it. So I get to sit back and watch tomorrow.
You might not have it that easy, Tom.
Okay.
Quite that easy.
I'll put my hat on, make some popcorn.
Ah, popcorn. I do love popcorn. I've been indulging lately. I have to stop.
So yesterday we were kind of wrapping up on the whole first 90-day part of this, going all the way back to, I guess at the highest level, we're attacking the loaded payroll to revenue. And there are a lot of different things that you can do to lower your loaded payroll to revenue. You can make your loaded payroll go down and make your revenue go up, or a combination of the two. Talked about reduced labor load, and we've got a pretty good handle on that. Reduced training expense is where we've been spending a lot of our time over the last several days here. And it's a lot of benefits of that even go beyond, your loaded direct payroll to revenue. But you'll find that if you're able to reduce your turnover, even if you spend more per employee on training, your overall training costs are going to go down, your productivity is going to go up, your outcomes are going to get better, and your overall variable cost, your cost of goods sold will go down. Plus, you're going to have happier customers and happier employees, and your life is easier too.
Yeah.
You're going to be making more profit.
Yay. That's the magic word right there, right?
More profit.
Let's get some more money in the bank.
So there's a couple of other things. Did we finish quality yesterday? You think that we have a handle on that, or is more that we wanted to say about quality?
I didn't have anything else that I specifically wanted to say about quality. I made my really important points. Did anybody else have anything that they wanted to talk about quality in relation to training in the first 90 days? I think I hit all of the important points that I had made note of. How about you, Tom? Did you have anything else you thought of overnight, or?
No, I mean, there's, we've got some of the other objective metrics that we've got there in terms of productivity and efficiency, but we're going to handle those separately on some separate slides, and that's what we're going to start on today. Going once, going twice. Okay, well, we'll jump in on that then.
All right, sounds good. I think also the reason why we don't really have to hammer so much on quality is I think that, the vast majority of training companies put a lot of focus on the quality of their company in some way, shape, or form. It's rare that you hear of a company, sorry about that loud pouring, it's competing with Tom's hammering, of a company that is like, I don't really focus on quality. That's just not something. Everybody's thinking about quality in some way, shape, or form. So it doesn't seem like it's as important of a message to get out there.
But there's a lot to be said about quality, and that's for like another day, really. Jumping back into the serve qual model and making sure that we're identifying the correlation between unhappy customers and root causes. And too oftentimes I find that, that you've got a quality issue because your customers are telling you that, but we're looking in the wrong places to improve it.
Yep. A fast one that I think everybody can relate to with that. I know we said we weren't going to talk about it. Now here we are talking about it. But it's like floors. A lot of times you'll get a floor complaint. And then you'll think, that team member just isn't doing a good job on floors. They need to, do a little bit better job. And then you might start noticing a couple more, and you might have to start evaluating, is it our pads wearing out? Is our product changing? Are we using, a different dilution? There's a lot of things you have to start looking at instead of just whether or not the employee is doing a good job or not. But
Too often we just kind of point the finger at our cleaning professionals and say, you guys have to do better. And, a lot of times that's not the answer to the problem.
it's kind of our version of the butler did it, right? It's like we're always blaming it's the housekeeper.
The housekeeper did it. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't do a good job. It's not always the case. All right, so let's talk productivity.
We're going to talk about productivity. And we talk about productivity and we talk about efficiency. And I think a lot of times there's a lot of different understandings and definitions of that. I'm not even going to, say that, well, this is the right and the wrong definition. Although technically, if you go to Webster's and look up productivity, it's basically a function. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I have to laugh. I'm not going to tell you what's right or what's wrong, but if you go to
I'm going to tell you anyway. Okay, well, I will.
It is right.
A while ago, I used to have a real job. My first real job was that of an industrial engineer. And for any of you guys are wondering, what the heck does an industrial engineer do? Well, they do, several different things. But back in the day, a big part of an industrial engineer's time was trying to figure out how to help people work more productively, how to get more output with less input, if you will. And can you hear me? Is this hammering as bad out there as?
No, we can hear you. It's kind of like background noise. It's like
very loud background.
It's like the sound that you have when you want to go to sleep.
Okay, so part of an industrial engineer's job would be to do time studies and work measurement studies to figure out how long it would take to do a particular job. And that job could be doing anything. It could be loading boxes in a trailer or driving nails aboard, or it could be cleaning a house, right? And there's all kinds of ways that you can do that. And most of us in our cleaning businesses have methods that we use to estimate how long it's going to take to clean a home and apply some hourly rate to that to figure out what we're going to charge to clean that home.
Yep.
And that time estimate that we come up with for how long we think it's going to take to clean a home is called the allowed time. I mean, you guys do that in your business, right, Liz?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think most people do. Most people have a way where, they'll count, the square footage and apply some factor to it. We can clean 700 square feet an hour. And if the house is 2,100 square feet, then it's going to take us 3 labor hours to do it.
And there's always some flexibility for the density of the home or, the age of the home. So there are different things that you have to look at. But I think that most of the time people look at allowed time, or you might have a different term for it, a time goal, or what's another term we hear all the time? I can't remember. But anyway, you might have a different term for it, but just how much time you think it's going to take to get the job done versus how long it actually does take to get the job done.
I'm gonna make some definitions here just to make sure that we get this, because I don't want to blow through this. Time, it's the estimated time and you can calculate it like, assuming a lot of people do it on square footage. If you say that you can do 700 square feet an hour, then you basically take the square footage. Say you got a 2,100 square foot home. Spreadsheet, you want to do it here and divide that by 700. That would equal 3 hours, right?
Yep.
Those are labor hours. Back in the day, they were called man hours. We refer to them as labor hours now. It's really, it's the amount of hours it would take for a normal operator to do that job.
In your company. So that is based on your scope of work. It depends on what you do in your company. Your number might be smaller, it might be larger. I was just on a Facebook thread today where somebody was saying they do 1,200 square feet per hour. So that would obviously be a different scope of work than somebody that's cleaning 700 square feet per hour. Sarah has a comment here. So Tom has that in common with Jeff Campbell, speed cleaning. I don't know the reference.
Jeff Campbell, remember Jeff? Jeff wrote the book Speed Cleaning, the video Speed
I know,
Cleaning.
but I don't know what she means that you have in common with him.
Jeff may have been an industrial engineer.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not 100% on that, but he may have been. He certainly thought like one, the way he put together work methods to clean homes more quickly. I'm going to give you another definition here. By the way, Sarah, it's awesome to see you. I hope you guys, you and Bruce, are doing okay. It's been a while.
Hey, Sarah.
I'm talking. Think about.
That's exactly what Sarah said. He was an industrial engineer. Good call.
I'm going to give you a term called a normal operator. So, some people are faster than other people. I mean, in terms of cleaners, you run into that where you'll schedule a home and you think it's going to take 3 hours, but if you give it to cleaner A, you know that they may be able to do it 2.5 hours because they're really fast. Where if you give it to cleaner B, they might be there 3.5 hours because they're typically slow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So one of the things that you want to be aware of and thinking about is this concept of a normal operator, which is basically their cleaning time is average, if you will.
You take cleaning professional A, cleaning professional B, cleaning professional C. You take all of their times and you average them out, and that would be the normal operator speed. Is that right? Okay.
There's some things that you can do, and we can talk about this, a little bit further down the road in terms of how you do work measurement to figure out, are you really doing 700 square feet an hour? Or are you doing 600? Or are you doing 800? And you measure that across all your employees, and you're going to find that you've got some employees, some cleaning professionals that are getting 800-900 square feet an hour and doing it consistently, and others that are maybe coming in at 500 or 400 square feet an hour, and the average might be 7, but it's like a normal distribution. It's distributed. And once you know that, once you know your productivity, there's a lot of things that you can do with scheduling and pricing. And I'm getting ahead of myself, though. I'm getting excited. Can you tell?
Tom does love him some KPIs.
So one more thing about the allowed time, and those are labor hours. Those are, if I'm cleaning by myself and I'm cleaning a 3-hour house that's got three allowed hours, then the expectation would be that I am going to be in that house by myself for 3 hours. So if I start at 9, on the average, I wouldn't get done until 12, or the average operator wouldn't get done until 12. If Liz and I are doing it together and assuming that we're both normal operators and we started at 9, we'd be done at 10:30. It would take us an hour and a half on the clock, right?
Yeah.
But Liz's hour and a half and my hour and a half added together gets you to 3 labor hours.
Yep.
Makes sense?
We always talk in labor hours to make it easier, y'all, because we all know that there are so many different team sizes. For a long time, there was a tendency for people to just say how much they charged in their company per hour. For example, they might say, yeah, we charge $120 an hour. And nobody knew what that meant. Like, so do you charge a lot and you send 2 people in at $60 per labor hour? Or is your price much less and you're sending 3 people in and you're charging $30 or $40 per labor hour? Like, what is it? So over time, I'd say in maybe the last 5 years or so, I see that it's much more common for everyone to talk in terms of labor hours instead of just how much they charge per hour in their company. And it's a much easier way for us all to be able to talk the same language, speak the same language. And I'm kind of getting out of my depth here, because that's something I feel passionate about, is that our industry have some standard terms. You don't see other industries where people are talking about the basic parts of doing the business and all these different terms. That's not a thing. If you hire an electrician, they're going to talk about the job of being an electrician the same, regardless of which company they work for or anything else. So we'll be talking in labor hours, and we're hoping that you will too.
So, yeah. So we're introducing a new, I don't know if it's a new lexicon, but one that hopefully we can all adopt and all agree on, because if we can do that, it's going to be helpful to all of us.
And we don't have to explain it every single time either.
Okay, so let's say that we have a house and it's 3 hours, and the allowed time is basically in terms of labor hours. I will add that as well, because we can easily get confused between labor hours and clock hours. A lot of times, if you do teams, it can get confusing. If you do solos, it's one and the same. But if you've got 2 or 3 person teams or more, then the allowed time is not the time in the home. It's the time in the home times the number of people cleaning the home. Does that make sense?
Yep. It does.
I'll add that there too. Just maybe I should do that over here. Should I call them techs or CPs? Does people know what a CP is?
CPs are cleaning professionals. So I don't know that there is a standard term for cleaning professionals, cleaning technicians, cleaning members. So there we go.
We like to refer to them as cleaning professionals because it's a mindset. They need to think of themselves as professionals, and we need to create the culture and environment where they feel like they're professionals. And if you've been with us over the last couple of weeks, an overarching theme of everything that we were doing, from the whole, who's a candidate that we want to recruit, to how do we interview them and hire them and onboard them and train them. Common theme through all of that is, we want them to see themselves as professional, because if they do and see us as professional, what's that going to do to turnover?
Drive that number down. And also we want our customers to see them and us as professionals, because what does that do to the amount that we can charge, right? And they're gonna be willing to pay more money to the professional company than to the non-professional company. All right.
Okay, so remember what productivity was. It was allowed time divided by actual time. And we want to put it in terms of percentage. So if I had a job and it took me, and the allowed hours was three labor hours, and it actually took me 3 labor hours, my productivity would be 100%.
Okay.
You guys with me?
Get that? Everybody there? Yep. Just say yes if you're there, or no, show me again. If you need him to show the math on that, because I know he's not showing the actual math on here. So if you need to see that, then let me know. Say, show me the math.
Well, here's the formula. Basically, it's this number divided by this number.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
So later, here's the problem, Tom. When you don't show the math, later somebody's going to look at this and go, 3 equals 3. Yes, they're 100% the same. You know what I mean? There's lots of ways to. Yes. Okay. Good. All right.
But, so you got Cleaner A who's really fast, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at this. I do that. And say Cleaner A is able to do that home in 2.5 hours. They start at 9 o'clock and say, let's do solos. That makes it easy. And they get done at what, 11:30?
Mm-hmm.
So 3 hours allowed time divided by 2.5 hours actual time. That's 120%.
Yep.
So for that home, Cleaner A's productivity was 120%. That was fun. Was that fun? Can we do another one?
So fun. Let's do it again. What about somebody that's really slow, Tom?
We'll do Cleaner B. Cleaner B is slow. Say Cleaner B took, what do you want to say, 3.5 hours?
Yeah.
Cleaner B didn't get done until 12:30.
Okay.
So 3 divided by 3.5, that's 96%.
86.
86. Okay, well, I'm 32 minutes in. That's not too bad. I was testing you. Thanks. You were paying attention. Good job.
Waking me up over here.
So intuitively, we know that we would like all our cleaners to be more like Cleaner A than Cleaner B, assuming that they both are producing quality work.
Right.
So if they're both, getting good outcomes and producing quality work, we would all prefer all our cleaners to be more like Cleaner A and Cleaner B. So the question is, how do we make that happen? There's a lot of other cool things I could show you with this, but it's not directly related to lowering our payroll to revenue. But I'm going to show you something just because you need to know that.
I know he can't handle it. He wants to show us everything.
Let's pretend that one job doesn't give you really good insight that Cleaner A is actually has a average productivity 120%. But say you're measuring the actual times that Cleaner A takes to clean a bunch of homes, say homes over the course of a month.
Okay.
And you're also measuring the allowed times for each one of those homes that Cleaner A cleaned, and you added up all those allowed times and all of those actual times. And we'll just show you what that would look like. Say they cleaned 100 homes, and you kind of did that. And you added up all the actual times for 100 homes. How do I do that? Okay, for 100 homes, you might have 300 allowed hours and 250 actual hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I could show you that basically you would just go over here and do like home 1, home 2.
Do you have a number of homes that you think are like, how many do we have to do, Tom, to get a good enough sense of someone's productivity?
At least 30.
You have to do 30. Okay.
At least 30. It may be more. There's this statistical thing, I think it's an statistical approximation to the normal curve. I think it is. I'm going back a long, long way. But in a lot of cases, you can kind of get 30 and get a pretty decent ballpark. So say we've got like actual allowed times rather. And for each one of these homes, I don't know, this might be 3 hours, this might be 2.5, and this one may have been a 5-hour home and they got done in 4, and this one could have been 6 and they got done in 5, and I'm just going to do 3 and 2.5 for the rest of these because you're kind of getting the point. And can you see this, or is it too small?
Yeah. Oh, I can see it. I have a huge screen, though. I don't know if anybody else can.
And if I added all of these together, and I'm going to hit the little sum thingy up there, I got 95 allowed hours and 79 actual hours. So what is productivity again?
Allowed time divided by actual time.
So I'm just going to calculate that here by taking my allowed time of 95 and dividing by my actual time of 79, 1.2025, yada, yada, yada. At that point, you could say that cleaner A has an average productivity of 120%.
Okay.
So what are you going to do with that? There's a lot of things that you can do with that. And we're going to be talking about how you can use that to improve everybody's productivity. But there's another little trick that I think is often overlooked. If you're scheduling a home, and so you've got home,
Johnson.
say Jones. It's easier to spell.
Okay.
And it's got an allowed, I'm going to say the allowed time. And say the allowed time for Thompson's home is 4.5 hours, okay?
You said Jones was easier.
Okay, you messed me up. Okay, that's 2. It's 38 minutes, okay?
All right, we're doing well. We're doing well.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Jones's home has an allowed time of 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So how long is it going to take cleaner A to clean that house?
Well, multiply it times 120%. Let's find out.
Now, if you actually divide it by 120%.
Oh, yes, that would be so much better. That's my first one. I'm 239.
Yeah. So there's this whole thing called unit analysis, and basically the formula, we're not going to get into that today, but they trust me on this one, guys.
He's harassing me. That's what's happening right there.
Actual, adjusted allowed time would be this number divided by the productivity. Let's just do this. So I'm going to take my 120%, take this number and divide it by 120%. In cleaner A, you would expect to be able to clean that house in 3.75. Conversely, say you did a bunch of sampling on cleaner B, and on average, cleaner B winds up being 86%.
Mm-hmm.
It would take cleaner B 5.25 hours to clean that same house.
Yep.
So one of the things that we're going to be talking about in order to reduce your loaded payroll to revenue is maximize.
Fire cleaner B, right, Tom?
Well, no, you want to help cleaner B be more productive.
Oh, okay.
If that doesn't work, you fire them. No, you don't want to go there. Knowing this is helpful at a lot of levels, though, because you know where you need to be training. And intuitively, you kind of know that cleaner B is slower than cleaner A.
Yeah.
You want to drill into that and figure out why. But from a scheduling standpoint, if you know that cleaner A is cleaning that house, do you want to schedule it as a 4.5 hour house, or do you want to schedule it as a 3.75 hour house? If you did it at 3.75, you're going to be more accurate, right? Because that's more times than not. That's how long it's going to take cleaner A to do it. If you do that, maybe there's enough time in the day for cleaner A to pick up another house, but you would never see that if you were scheduling as a 4-hour home. Likewise, you schedule cleaner B as a 4-hour home, and it's actually going to take them 5 hours and 15 minutes. Then, they're probably going to be working too late, and they're not going to get off in time, and they're not going to be able to pick their kid up from daycare, or they're going to quit early and get a complaint.
And they're going to see their schedule in the morning. Cleaner B is going to look at her schedule in the morning, and she's going to go, oh, I've got Jones. But it always takes me longer there. I'm not going to get off on time. I'm already frustrated. Where cleaner A looks at their schedule in the morning and is like, ooh, Jones, all right, I'm getting off early. I'm going to meet my kids and have ice cream after school or whatever. But I think this is a whole new concept, Tom, for a lot of people. Talking about the jobs. So what we've always done, or what we always hear about and what everybody always talks about, is when they're talking about how much they charge, they talk in terms of how much they charge per hour based on this allowed time that they think of, they have in their mind, instead of the allowed time per employee. It's a whole new ballgame here.
Well, let's think about that for a minute. So let's pretend you're charging, you got a bill rate of, say, $50 an hour.
We're talking labor hours again.
Yeah. We'll put a little dollar sign there to make that easy. How much should we charge for this 4.5 hour home? If cleaner A's cleaning it, some might argue that we would charge that. But if cleaner B is doing it, we'd be charging that. That's a pretty wild swing, isn't it?
I think most people do. What we've always done too is they take whatever the allowed time was without the swing either way, and we charge that. That way, it doesn't matter to us which employee gets sent to the house. But you're suggesting, I'm thinking, Tom, that there's a much better way.
Well, some people actually just charge hourly for the time that they're in there. In which case, on the surface, you'd say that you want everybody to have the productivity of cleaner B, right? Because you're going to be making more money off the same house.
Well, especially I'm going to talk about like the first time in clean, that initial cleaning, or a single cleaning. For those jobs, a lot of companies will charge for the amount of time that we're there. So yeah, I would think that that's the jobs that you would want to put your slowest people on, but to make more money. But I also think that most business owners are thinking, I can't. If I put my slowest people there, it's not fair to charge the customer $262.50 because I know those people are slow. So instead, they don't charge that. Instead, they charge somewhere between $187.50 and $262, maybe $220, and then they lose money. And that really affects profitability.
And I guess there's a lot of dimensions of this. Part of it is like, what are the core values of your business, and what do you want to stand for, and what do you want, your clients and your community to see in you and your brand and your company, and what is your business model, and are you building a business based on high frequency recurring revenue, and do you want to get recurring revenue off of these jobs? Do you want to have a long-term relationship with that client, or do you want to have a one and done relationship? And also, are you relying upon and building your business off of positive reviews and word of mouth and that type of marketing? And a lot of you add all of that up, and I think a lot of it points towards you want everybody to be productive, and you want to charge a market rate for the home, but at the end of the day, I would argue that you want to charge the allowed hours of 4.5 times 50, which would be $225. That's what you would actually charge. That's what I would charge, because I would argue that's what your competitors, your competitors with game, your professional competitors would be charging that as well. Yeah. And how you make money off of that is you get everybody being, productive at 100% or more, then you're going to be making good coin.
So what do you do, Tom? How do you get people, how do we get Cleaner B up to Cleaner A's productivity rating? Because I think that I'm sure we have some people over here that are on the call right now that are like, yeah, but whenever we see people that have that really high productivity rating, what that really means to me is they're really fast, but they're going to have lower score. They're going to have a lower quality rating. Or, these are the arguments that you hear, right? Or you can't make the person that's taking a long time to clean speed up, because that's one of the things we love about them is their quality is so good. That's why they take so long. Wow. So how do you address that?
We measure 4 metrics in our business, and actually this is kind of a main central thing too. There's 4 metrics that we present for every cleaning professional, and that's quality, attendance, productivity, and efficiency. We haven't gotten to efficiency yet, but quality is basically an average quality score. We call them scorecards, but we send quality surveys out after every job, and customer rates them. Basically, it's a 5-point scale, but it goes from 0 to 100%, and it's a combination of what your quality percentage is and your productivity. And we look at those together, because you can have people that are really productive, but their quality score is lower. Yeah, it's like, I think it rocks that you're being productive, because there's another component of this that we haven't gotten to yet. Is we do incentive pay, we do commission pay, and you've got an incentive to move as fast as you can, because you're basically making more money in a less amount of time, and you can do that. But if your quality drops, and we see your productivity is high, it's like in our monthly coaching sessions, we want to see the quality go up and your productivity to go down, or at the very least, we don't want to see your productivity to be that high and your quality to continue to be that low.
Right. So we would like to keep that nice high productivity, but we'd like to have a nice high quality score as well. So I think that another confusing aspect is that a lot of times when people are talking about productivity, they are talking about the combination of quality and time. the matching of those two things together, where this is not about that. This, when we're talking about productivity here, we're just talking about the amount of time it takes compared to how much allowed time there was for the job. So retraining your brain to think of productivity in that way also can, so we're suggesting that you think this new way. Anybody have any additional ideas about why would it make sense to think of productivity this way instead of, you know, how it's traditionally been done, the comparison of time to quality? Why would it make sense to measure the allowed time compared to the actual time? Anybody else seeing that there's a big benefit there? I'm gonna wait for y'all. Sarah, Bridget, Leslie, Dawn. Do you guys understand how you can use this in your business to actually make more money without, what's the nice word that I want? Jerking around your customer, cheating your customer, overcharging your customer, charging a fair rate, but also making more money. Are you guys seeing that? How that plays out here? And I know, Tom, you're going to talk about training and how, because that piece is really important.
It is, but it all ties together. We spent a lot of time over the last few days talking about matter, meaning, measure, and accountability, right?
Yep.
And it's attendance is kind of the easiest number. Everybody, you need to measure people's performance and give them feedback for all of the reasons that, we talked about the last few days. But attendance isn't where it ends. That's just where it begins. And you really, yay, I'm able to get out of bed and come to work every day. I'm a rock star. I'm not really. And you can't convince somebody of that. But if you can get into some of the finer points of the metrics where you can compare me to other people in the organization, then if I've got a productivity rate of 120%, now that's something that really is a lot more unique to me, right?
And that's a measure that you can hang on somebody. That's when we're talking about measuring. We want to have a great number like that so that people can see, oh, I get it. The reason why that people don't want to work with me because we're on commission is because I'm slow. My rating is 86%. I can see why somebody with 120% productivity rating doesn't want to work with me. She's losing money when she works with me because now we have an actual way to measure what is slow. So you guys have been in that situation where you're like, yeah, so-and-so is slow. Yeah, but she's so fast. And people get offended because it's very subjective. Slow, fast, that's too subjective. This is not. This is a way that you can actually give someone a measure. Just like it was so nice to be able to put the measure on quality, right? The customer says, this number, okay. Now I can compare and contrast, and I can say with some confidence whether or not we're doing a good job at that house based on the number. When the customer was saying back in the day before you were using quality driven or scorecards or whatever way you have of measuring your jobs right now, before you had that, the customers would say, yeah, they did a great job. And you didn't know what that meant because they could be saying, yeah, they did a great job. But then to their friends and family, yeah, I just wish that they would get the edging on my carpet. Yeah, I wish they would get the streaks out of my floors. And you'd lose those jobs from people that said you were doing a good job. Even if you got the feedback, right? But having the number makes it so much easier. Same thing here. Oh, what's Bridget say? Yes, we measure this manually, but looking at Tom's way shows so much more. So this is the thing that is kind of a pain. You got to figure out a way. If your software doesn't track this, and I don't know which ones do. What software are you guys using? Does it track productivity? I know that some of them do, but I'm not sure which one. Bridget, what do you use? Oh, you're saying you have to measure manually. What do the rest of you guys use? I was talking with somebody that uses Customer Factor the other day, and they really love their program. It's hard to get numbers out of it. Even our five basic KPIs. Oh, you use Made Central. Okay, well, okay. If you're using Made Central, then why is she tracking it manually, Tom?
I have no idea.
Jobber. Are you able to get this? So Bridget, you don't need to track manually. This information is tracked for you.
Assuming that your employees are punching in out for the day and punching in out of jobs, not.
Yeah, you got to check in and check out.
Yeah.
Sarah Made Central. Okay.
Yeah, I know Sarah is. And if you're punching in and out, you get all this. All this is there, and you can see it by employee. You can see it by service set. You can see it every which way.
Yeah, she needs Rebecca. Yeah, Rebecca. Yeah, I mean, you, Bridget, you need to hit her up with, hey, I need some productivity training, right? Robin, did you say, does Jobber, are you able to get your productivity number? Still working on closing payroll. Yeah, if you're not closing payroll, then you're not gonna have the numbers. It doesn't matter which software you're using there. You've got to be tracking the time that the people check into the job and the time that they check out. It doesn't really matter which software you're using if you don't do that. Now, I do know that some companies will track this by paper. I did it by paper for years. We had these convoluted timesheets. What time did they check into the job? What time did they check out? Who took a break at what time? So that could be deducted from the amount of time. Well, so much work, but it absolutely can be done. I love that. Yeah, good, Robin. Check it out. I do love, Tom, the number 30, that you need to have 30 homes to sort of as a baseline to start. More is better, it sounds like.
More is always better, and it's dynamic.
How much better, I'm wondering how much better. At 30, you have that they are 120%. If you get 60, you're going to find it's 120.8%.
There's two metrics. One of them's average, and the other one is standard deviation.
Okay.
So if they did 30 jobs and their productivity was 120% for all 30 of those jobs, then that 30 is going to be a much better number than if they did 30 jobs and half of them, their productivity was 80 and the other half, their productivity was 160.
I got you. Okay.
So you kind of have to look at them together. So that's why it's kind of hard to say, is 30 enough or not? A lot of it depends upon how many peaks and valleys you have between those numbers. If all the productivities look like they're the same, then a smaller sample will get you a good number.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So a couple of things that I'm thinking of that will matter here then is how consistent are the people in there cleaning, and also how accurate are your numbers. I'm thinking you can be running into some pretty big swings if you are using square foot to set your allowed time, because square foot can be so different based on type of flooring, the density of the stuff in the house, the number of people in the home, the age of the home. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
You get wild swings there? It seems like you would. I can picture a house with all carpet. 2 people live there. They're neat as a pin. They don't ever have any knickknacks out. There's no appliances on the kitchen counters. And I can breeze in and out of that house. There's a same size house with tile floors, wood floors, 4 kids, 2 dogs, stuff on every single counter in the bathrooms and on the kitchen. I could triple my time. So wild swings might not really, the reason why you would want more people, more houses, is so you could get an accurate representation of the person, regardless of the home.
But what you really want is a system where you're able to capture the allowed and actual times for every job that's being done, and being able to sort that out by home, and also being able to sort that out by cleaning professional.
So just tracking them, especially if you're a smaller company,
Yeah.
I would think it'd be easy to just track them by day. On this day, you had 5 homes: Johnson, Jones, Thompson.
But then you need like a spreadsheet, and you'd have to put it under each cleaning professional every day, and then have another spreadsheet for the home every day. And
Well, if you don't have a way of tracking it, I mean, that is going to be the easiest way, isn't it?
it would be, it's better than nothing, for sure. It gets arduous though. It's a lift.
Well, that's exactly how we used to do it for years. So I know it is arduous, but it can be done. And that
And we're at the top of the hour.
we're past the top of the hour.
We are. Bridget, Sarah, if you guys need help, you got me feeling bad now. I think part of it though is that, I need to do a better job of helping everybody understand how important some of this stuff is, and maybe that create a little more motivation for us all to work a little bit harder towards, using the tools that we have at our disposal. There's a lot of ways of doing this, and it takes a little bit of time, but it makes a big difference at the end of the day in terms of how much profit you're generating off of the work that you're doing. And that's kind of the overall theme of what we're doing here. Productivity is an awesome number. We're going to pick this up tomorrow. We're going to talk more about it. It's one of my favorite metrics. It's not like attendance. Basically, I just wanted to say this: attendance is kind of like the price of admission. You can only get so good at attendance, and basically, that's it. Whereas productivity, that's really an opportunity for somebody who's really driven and motivated and committed to really differentiate themselves.
Good. All right. Say bye.
Bye, guys.
I'll
See you tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Matt Ricketts is going to be here. We're going to be talking PPP. We're going to be talking about tax credits. We're going to be talking about productivity. It's going to be awesome. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.